Hey, everybody, welcome to today's Spark. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope everything is going in the right direction for you. Hope you're up and at 'em and that you're getting after it on this beautiful day. Listen, I am so excited to be with you on today and once again to share with you something that I believe is going to help you along your way, that's going to take you to another level, that's going to get you where you need to be. Now, if you can see down in the corner there, you can see we're going to be talking about problems. Now, don't turn it off because that's not what this is about. I'm going to help you on today, as I always like to do. I'm going to give you a helping hand, but we're going to talk about problems. And I know people don't want to talk about problems. People don't want to deal with problems. People say, "Hey, you keep that for yourself, David. I don't want to deal with it." Well, the truth of the matter is that you have to deal with problems. Problems are, they come to everybody. I guess that's the best way for me to say it. But if you know what a problem is and you know what to do about it, then you're way ahead of the game. And that's what I want to talk to you about on today. So I'm going off of the track that I've been going on, but I think this is necessary at this point so that you understand that you are going to face some problems in life. And the most important thing I believe is that you know how to deal with the problem. So let's get into that. Let's talk about that. First of all, I want to talk about what is a problem. What is it? Well, the dictionary, Webster, defines a problem as a temporary matter or situation regarded as unwelcome or harmful and needing to be dealt with and overcome. I'm going to say it again. A temporary matter or situation regarded as unwelcome or harmful and needing to be dealt with and overcome. So there's a couple things that I pick up out of that definition that I think is going to help us and broaden this a little bit for us so that we understand. Number one, the first thing I saw is a temporary matter. In other words, problems are temporary. As one of my mentors once taught me, he says, listen, there's something called the storms of life. And in the storms of life, you are either entering into a storm, you're in the midst of a storm, or you just came out of a storm. But storms or problems comes to everyone's life. And when we know that and when we understand that, then it's so much easier for us to deal with that. Listen, you are not alone. Problems come to everybody. Now, the next thing is they're unwelcome. Like I say sometimes, if you were going to have a problem, when would you say, okay, this is a good time for me to have a problem? Never would you do that. So problems are unwelcome, but I want to caution you with something. Many times we create the problem and then we're in the midst of it and oh my goodness, and we go through it. But here's the thing. Problems, all right, they come to everyone. They're temporary. They're unwelcome. Sometimes we create them, but the key factor that I saw in that definition is this right here. They must be dealt with and overcome. In other words, you can't put your head in the sand and act like it don't exist. Now, those of us like myself who walk by faith, a lot of times you'll hear me say, turn your senses off to the things of the world. And I do that. But that doesn't mean that I say, oh, that doesn't exist. Oh, the problem exists, but how you deal with it. Because here's a key factor. My attitude will determine my success. When you start dealing with the problem, you can take a different attitude. And remember, your attitude is going to determine your level of success. So when I see a problem, I've got to get the right attitude. Really, sometimes a problem can be a good thing because it could potentially expose a flaw or another problem in my plan. Maybe I have a plan and I bump up against a problem. That problem could be an indicator. It could be exposing some flaw that I have in the plan. So you don't always look at it like, oh my God, why me, why me, why me? Sometimes it might be like, man, I'm glad I caught this at this point. I'm glad this problem that I bumped up against this problem, because now I can deal with it a whole lot better. And I can make sure that my plan doesn't fall apart or collapse because of this problem in the plan. It gives me an opportunity to get it right, to fix it, if you will. And here's something else. A lot of times when a problem comes up, that should encourage you. That should excite you. Why? Because now you can use that creative power that you have to begin to create something better, create something, much better than currently what you're dealing with. So I look at it a lot of times, my attitude is going to determine my success. And when I see a problem, okay, it's a problem. Not put my head in the sand and say it doesn't exist. I just understand this right here, that I'm going to have to deal with it. I'm going to have to overcome it. It could potentially expose some flaw in my plan. And you know what? I have this God-given creativity inside of me. And now I can go to work and create something. And so that's really, really what I want you to get out of this. But there are certain things that I believe that you should do and other things that you should not do when you face a problem. What do you mean? Well, number one, you have to go into this, and this is one of the things I believe you should do. You have to believe that that problem is solvable. If you don't believe that the problem is solvable and you throw your hands up and give up, then it's never going to be solved. It's never going to be overcome. You have to believe that that problem is solvable. And I got good news for you. All problems are solvable. Now, some take more time than others. I recognize that, but they are all solvable. Don't get into this situation where you think that you're at a point in life where the problem can't be solved. That's just not true. Here's the next thing that I think you should do. You got to get to the root and not the fruit. Say that again. You got to get to the root of the problem, not the fruit of the problem. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of times we see this being produced out of the problem or this happening out of the problem. Listen, you can deal with the fruit all day long, or you can get to the root, because this is one thing I understand. If you deal with the root of the problem, it stops producing the fruit of the problem. Yeah. So what I learned to do is like, okay, I see this is an outcome, or this is a result of the problem that I'm having. But what is the very root of the problem? And so when I get to the root of the problem, I'm now able to, what we say, cut it off at the root. Listen to me. If you cut it off at the root, the fruit cannot be produced, because the fruit is quote unquote nourishment from the root. So you deal with the root of the problem, because you'll be chasing fruit all day. So what I've learned is, I am going to deal with the root of the problem. Here's another thing I think you should not do. Don't panic. Oh my goodness. I can't say that enough. Don't get in the middle of something and start getting all panicky and everything. Relax. You got this. You have something on the inside of you called God Almighty, and you have creative power on the inside of you. You and God are one, and because of that, you're a winner. You've already won. You have to know that, and you have to go into this with that understanding. Now, it may be a faith fight to get through it, and that's okay. But I know this right here. I'm not going to panic. Why? Because there's no need to. I got this. And you got to go into it with that mentality, with that attitude of, I got this. And I am a winner. And it's not over until I win. And so I'm on top already. And if your mindset, if your mentality is such that you're on top already, boy, you're going to go a whole lot further than if you cave in and give up and quit and start saying how bad it is. That leads me to the next one. Don't become negative. Boy, you don't know how many times I've seen this. Something happens, and then the next thing you know, we do what I call, we go down this cycle of negativity instead of going up this cycle of positivity to say, hey, I can be creative. Hey, the answer's within me. Hey, I got this. We could start going down like, oh my God, why me? Why did this have to happen to me? Why did this have to happen to me now? And we go down that path. And if we're not careful, we get into a cycle of negativity. And I want to let you know something. The more negative you are, the more negative stuff you see. So that's once again why I want to encourage you with a positive attitude going into this, knowing that my attitude is going to determine my outcome on the other side. My attitude is going to determine my success. Therefore, when the problem rears its ugly head, whether I created it or I didn't create it, when the problem comes up, I am well off enough to know that I can get this done. And then here's another thing that I do recommend. Well, I recommend that you don't do this, but I recommend that you get on the other side of this. Don't magnify the problem over your God-given ability. Never ever think a problem is too big for you and God. Remember what I always teach you. Where's God at? God is inside of you. You and God are one. And if you use that creativity that God has given you, and you don't magnify this problem over that ability, over that power of God in you, and you're going to be okay. You're going to get through it. I want to encourage you on today. I want to give you a call to don't let the problem overtake you. You overtake the problem. It's said like this: don't be overcome with evil, but you overcome evil with good. So that negativity is evil. You need to get to the good, that positivity, and know this right here, that if I stay in this mindset, if I stay in this framework, if I continue to go forward, knowing that I'm successful, having this attitude, I know that I'm going to be okay. I know that I'm going to get through this. I know that I'm already a winner. But if I could just, make a fluid and pour that on the inside of you to say, I'm a winner. I am going to win. And I'll say it again. It's not over until you win. So don't you dare give up. Don't you dare panic. Don't you dare get into this thing about, oh my God, why me? Why me? Why me? Don't you dare magnify this problem over that creative power on the inside of you called God. So you got to overcome the problem, because that's what it said. You got to deal with it and you got to overcome it. Well, how do you overcome it, David? I'm glad you asked. This is what I'm going to wrap it up with, just a couple of things. Number one, do not give up. Don't you dare throw the towel in. It's not over. You got this. It may look like you're not winning. You're winning. Why? What? Yes, you're winning because you are staying there. You're staying in the fight. You're staying in the battle. You're seeing the positivity come out of this. And you see just a little flicker or something positive, you ought to be celebrating. That's going towards the positive outcome. Don't you dare give up on yourself. And if you feel like you got to give up, you call me, you text me, you message me so I can encourage you that, hey, listen, this is nothing that's come to you that hasn't come to other people. They've been successful with it. And you too, if you don't give up, you will be successful too. Here's the next thing. Don't be satisfied with the status quo. Well, this is just my lot in life. This is as good as it gets. No. Don't you dare allow that to be said about you. And don't you say it about yourself. You do not have to deal with the status quo. You are built for success. You are built for excellence. And if you stay with it and don't give up, you're going to see that. Like I always tell you, if you are willing to stay forever, you're not going to have to stay very long. And if you hold it in your heart and hold it in your hand, I'm talking about the results, you will hold it in your hand. And the final thing I'm going to share with you is this right here. Choose to win and stay course. That's right. You have to make a decision that no matter what, I am going to win. What are you talking about? That's called the mentality of a winner. I am a winner and I am going to win. And I'm going to stay the course. I'm not deviating. I'm not listening to all of the things that people have to say. I'm not even going to listen to my senses. I'm not even going to listen to significant others. I know this right here, that I am a winner, that I'm going to win, that I am winning as I go. As a matter of fact, I'll even go and say this: I've already won. Why? Because I made a decision that I'm a winner. And when I make that decision, no problem that I face is too much for the God-given creativity that's in the inside of me to help me to get it done. Boy, I hope that encourages you on today. I really do. If that encourages you, give me some hearts. Throw some hearts out there. This is an encouraging message to let you know that problems, oh yeah, they're out there, but you know what to do about them now. You know how to overcome them. So I'm going to leave it at that on today. Thank you so much for being with me. Would you do me a favor, a big favor, and share this with somebody? Maybe you know somebody who's dealing with something on today. It can be anything. I believe that this will encourage them to stay the course and go ahead and win. You're a winner. You are a winner. Say it. I am a winner. Remember, whatever you put after I am, that's what you are. So hold on to that and be successful in that. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I hope this has helped you on this week. Share this with somebody. Let somebody know, hey, they got this. And above all else, remember this right here. You are the architect of your life, and I believe in you. I truly do. And I will see you on next week. Bye.